recent news about the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, making changes to the repo rate. Changes to this repo rate have been made quite a few times in the past time periods. Now we need to know how this particular repo rate is going to impact us. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra just has announced that basically there will be a change in the repo rate of the RBI, which will be the third time that this change is going to take place. So it's expected that this change may be up to nearly 0.50 basis points. So basically, it can be, in simple terms, you can say the change could be nearly 0.5 percentage. That means the interest will be changed to a reduced value of 0.5. So this RBI repo rate cut, what exactly is this RBI repo rate cut? We are going to understand three things in this particular we are going to understand these three things connected to this repo rate. First of all, what is this particular repo rate? The second important thing that we need to understand is why does RBI reduce or cut down the repo rate? And third is what happens when RBI actually cuts this particular repo rate. So these are three important things that we need to understand from the angle of how it impacts individuals in the economy and how it impacts the economy as a whole. So this is a very important thing that we can actually know and understand, which is a very important parameter of economic changes that are happening around us. So let's understand the first thing. What is the repo rate? Now, repo rate, basically, when we talk of the Reserve Bank of India, this particular bank lends money to other banks. So this particular bank, whatever the rate that it is charging, that is when it is lending money to different banks, will lend this particular money at what we call as the repo rate, or what in other terms is called as the repurchase rate. So if we understand in simple terms, let's say an individual is basically asking or approaching a bank, which is, let's say, ICICI Bank, for a loan, and this particular bank gives him the loan, but at the same time the bank is going to charge the amount in terms of interest. So interest on the loan will be charged by the bank. So this particular same situation we can apply for the RBI. So that individual who is approaching the bank is basically none other than the other bank. So a bank approaches the RBI. So bank is approaching the RBI, and RBI is basically giving the loan, and the loan is given against an interest, and this interest rate at which the RBI lends money to the other banks is called as the interest or the repo rate in other terms. So repo rate is the repurchase rate. RBI lends money to other banks. Now, why does the RBI cut down or reduce the repo rate? This is what we need to understand. Now, it's a very important thing from different angles. So stay tuned till the end of this video to understand the interesting facts that are connected to the repo rate. Now, when RBI lowers the repo rate, what happens? There are two things that come into formation. One thing is your interest rate on business loans will also drop. Why? Because when RBI lends money to the bank further lends the same money to people or the businessmen. So when there is a reduction from the RBI in the lending rate, the obvious impact will be the amount which is being lent to the other people from the bank, that is the business persons. They will also get the benefit of the lowered interest rate. So more money flows in the hands of the businessmen for doing business. At the same time, when it is about fixed deposits, fixed deposit rates will also fall, because if the bank is not earning more on the loans, it is also not going to give the money in form of fixed deposit interest. So fixed deposit interest also comes down, and people are they face a disadvantage in saving. So they say, why to save? Instead, we will actually spend more. And when they spend more, they are actually talking about money which is more in their hands due to the discouragement in keeping in fixed deposits. And also they are getting loans. So vehicle loans, even consumable loans, credit card loans, all these are given away easily at a lower interest rate. So more money in the hands of consumers, more business will happen in the economy. So what is happening? Basically, business is growing because people are demanding more, because there are loans which are easily available. Business will boom in the economy. So overall economic growth will take place because of this repo rate being reduced. So if we say that our economic battery is gone down, right? If it is the recharge is getting over or it's lowering, then RBI will think of cutting down the repo rate. So if RBI is cutting down the repo rate, think of it in a perspective of the economy, where the economy is going down, it is slowing down, and that's the reason we need to push it up. And how you push it up is basically with the help of the repo rate. So what happens now? Let's see this different situations. What happens when RBI cuts this particular repo rate? Basic thing is, in lower economic growth, there is infusion of funds. So more funds are coming up in the format of loans from the different banks, and in the hands of business, in the hands of consumers. So both of them get more money in their hands, where they are going to spend for the economy as such. And so at the same time, another thing, as I told you, FD rates, the fixed deposit rates, the deposit rates with the banks will also come down because of the repo rate that is changing. So when the FD's rates comes down, people are discouraged to keep the fixed deposits, and so they start spending more. And when the money is spent more, the economy goes upwards. So as of now, if RBI is actually charging a lower repo rate or is thinking of reducing on the repo rate, what comes to your mind now? What is the thought process that comes with the falling repo rate? The important thing to note here is that we are not in an economic boom. The economy is suffering, and that's the reason the repo rate is being reduced. So to spend more, so to encourage more money being infused into the economy to give it more of a booster. So these are the things that are connected to the RBI's repo rate cut that is happening. And basically, I'm sure you have understood now what is the repo rate, why the repo rate is reduced, and at the same time, why impacts happen on the economy, on the individuals when the repo rate is cut. So on Commerce Gyan, we are going to keep discussing such important topics which are connected to economy, commerce, day-to-day legal things that come up, and changes that are happening around you related to commerce. So stay tuned to this particular channel. Do subscribe to this, share this video if you like the explanation, and also put down in the comments if you want any specific topics to be discussed on this particular channel. So hope to see you in the next video of Commerce Gyan. Thank you.